And I'm here from Experiences in Channeling to talk to you about just some things that have been coming up today or recently that I thought were very interesting to share. Um, and they're related to the Last Judgment and thoughts on Japan. Excuse me. So let's begin. So nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. My name is Jason, and yeah, let's begin. In the background, you see my site. If you're interested in any of the things I offer, please don't hesitate. Yeah, to contact me. All right. So, what I'd like to start out first with, I guess I'll just start with how this all started, and that is this. So I found this site. She's a really interesting woman, leaving Babylon, and she talks a lot about. There's a lot of stuff recently on social media about the millennial realm and the what is that called? The short. I can't remember the name of it now, but based on what happened in Revelations, where Jesus would reign for a certain period of time, and then there would be a short period of time where, basically the other side was able to run free, and so some people believe we're in that short period. Many people, the overall kind of Christian thought. I'm not Christian myself. I'm Jason. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Dad jokes, yeah, they'll be sprinkled in. But yeah, so yeah, sorry, I gotta stop that. So so many Christians believe that they're still waiting for the second coming, and but in the Bible there's a reference to it where it says that the people that were alive at that time would witness the second coming. So the belief is that the second coming came and went, and we're after the second coming. Is one theory. So take it or leave it. I'm keeping an open mind about both. It's very interesting, and maybe there is no such thing. Maybe Revelations is just written by someone who wants those things to happen. I have no idea. So, but anyway, she has a very interesting site. I recommend it. It's interesting if you're interested in these sorts of things. But she posted this just a few days ago. Look at this thing. Oh. If you're not familiar, this is what's called a Torii gate, Torii gate, and that all of the shrines in Japan this is there in front of the shrines, this gate, and they're usually painted an orange or reddish color. And okay, so now this is for Reforpak 25. So Reforpak, what is that? So the Pacific Air Forces, alongside U.S. allies and partners, launched a Resolute Force Pacific 2025, the largest contingency response exercise ever conducted by the U.S. Air Force in the Indo-Pacific region. It started on July 10th, my birthday, of all times, and it's going to last until, I think, August 9th, which is, I think that's the end of World War II, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's close to the day that I think was either Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So everything has meaning. But so here, it's a big thing, right? And so I looked all over the place to find this, and I couldn't find it anywhere else except for on the military site, which is of all places. So, and here it says in katakana, it says Jersey Devils. The Jersey Devil is it's kind of like a Loch Ness Monster sort of creature that was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, New Jersey. They had spottings of it, and then if you look right in the middle of this Torii gate, you'll see this figure, which we all know that figure quite well. So, all right, and then here, this just to give you. So here's the military site. This is the site that it was taken from, and here it is right there. So it is a thing, because this is the only place I could find it. I couldn't find it anywhere else, except for her posting it. So very interesting. So preface this. Why is this a big thing? Let me just give one more aspect of it. So in Japan, in the next, I think, the 20th in Japan, there's going to be a very big election happening. It's a huge election, and it's the first time the major party, the LDP party, has been in control for the longest time, and but it looks like there's a possibility of change coming to Japan, and a lot of people are really excited about this, what's going on, and so that's going to be on the 20th, and then the U.S. Treasury Secretary will be visiting Japan on the 19th, so the night before, and it says he's going to meet with, they're going to talk about tariffs, right? That's what we're going to talk about. That's the official story. That makes sense, right? He's also going to come to the 2025 Osaka Kansai Expo. I talked about that in a previous video. You can research that yourself. It's an interesting place. I don't want to go anywhere near that place, but yeah, you can research it and find out. Yeah, so anyway, so he's coming. This is a big thing. I mean, he could have gone to all of the other different countries all around the world where the tariffs are happening, but he decided to come here so the night before the election. Okay, so those two things. Plus, there's this one of the largest military operations ever happening during the same time. Okay, so those two things. Now, let's see. Before we get into it, remember, all stories have both the yin and yang, always in balance. Well, at times it seems like things are just one side or the other. They are always both. Everything has both within it. And as my teacher always would say, the dark serves the light. And so, okay, so here we go. It's my contention, this is my belief. So Japan is a very, very interesting country, as everyone around the world knows these days. It's really popular. But there's something that's veiled in Japan. There's something that's covered. And it's an energetic veil that's over most of the country, and especially where I live. I live in the center of Japan, and it's very, 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 very veiled. You can feel physically the veil. And what this veil does is it just kind of dampens the energy a bit. There's a very, very strong energy here in Japan. So I've talked about this before. This energy, this creativity, and this vibrancy, but it's so strong that it's being kind of clamped down. And so I'm always looking forward to the time when that will be lifted. And this is societal as well. Like even the educational system, it just batters down everyone. Everyone's living with this, always second guessing themselves, never thinking they're good enough, always wondering what someone's going to say about them if they say something. It's a very, very strict society if you grow up in the society, and it kind of forms your worldview. But I think that's just the education. That's not the people. The people are, there's something really powerful, and I'm looking so forward to the time when that can be released, that energy, and everyone can live a little bit more in peace with themselves. And yeah, because it is a truly amazing place, and the peace here is truly amazing. And so I look forward to that. And so, okay, so back to these. Where is it? Where did it go? This symbol here, right? This Torii. These Tories, they came. Okay, so like a brief Japanese history lesson, right? So originally the Shinto's the nature animism religion of Japan. They didn't build anything. They used to have like a rock, or there'd be a tree, and then that would be like holy tree or whatever. And it was a nature religion. But then in the 8th century, when Buddhism was coming over to Japan, Buddhism was building all of these really ornate temples, and it looked really nice, and they would build these huge Buddha statues. And the Shinto practitioners were saying, oh man, we're going to lose all of our people. No one's going to come to our rock. They're going to go to that beautiful shrine with all the music playing. And so that was when the Shinto shrines started to be built, and they were trying to compete. And I think it was around this time too that these gates started to be built. And now I'm not going to talk about it. I just want to show a few pictures. And hold on, let's see. Okay, there's 4 different types of these gates. And let's see, what's a good? Do I have a good picture? So here's an example. this is what they look like. I'm sure you've probably seen them all over the place. Some places there's many of them, as in this picture. I think in Kyoto there's a shrine called the Fushimi Inari, and that has crazy amounts. Okay, so Torii Gate, there's two types. So according to the official kind of view is that it's, let's see, it's a barrier that separates God's world and the world of man, right? Is the idea. But I was given some information that these Torii gates were actually built after the shrines. They were all placed there at a certain time, and what these things do is they kind of now this is just me, but this is just what I've gotten and what I've heard is that they veil the energy. These are like energetic devices veiling the energy, and they're red, right? They're red, and it looks a lot like, let's see, do I have a, I'll just show a picture and then, but I won't go into it. Yeah, so yeah, so it looks a lot like this. Yeah, and this comes from the Bible, Exodus 12:23, when the Lord God goes to the land to strike down the Egyptians. He will see the blood on the tops and sides of the doorframe, and he'll pass over that doorway. He will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses or strike you down. Okay, that's it. I don't want to talk too much about it. But what I think is happening, though, is that, so there's a clarification process that's happening throughout the world. And so it's my belief that this, this sign here, you could take it, like if you took it just from a very objective way, you could say, oh, it was just, they're trying to kind of make a kind of scary looking picture because to keep them build up their strength. And but they could have done many, many other different things, but they chose to do this one. And so I think there's something to be said about that. So, yeah. And I just want to show a few other pictures so these Tories that remind me of, let's see, here's an example. I won't talk about it, but if you know the picture, you know what it is. Let's see, what else do we have? We have this one. I don't know if you know, this is from an Italian film from 1918. Let's see, what else do we have? We have this. This actually happened in 2018. You can research that one. What else do we have? Yeah, the way to research it would be this. Okay, what else? Yeah, this is the original. This is, yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to show a few pictures of that, what I believe this energy is. And yes, let's see, hold on, I'll just keep this in the background. Okay, so just a few pictures that I was showing to give you an idea. I don't want to go into talking about it too much, but yeah. Okay, so there is that parallel that you can draw. And so, yeah, it's funny. I'm kind of skirting around certain things, and the reason I'm doing so is because this is a channel of hope, and the whole point of this is hope, and I want to bring the hope of this. Okay, so that's the story. So, is it possible that this veil, which is created in part by these structures, is about to be cleared? And I believe that there is something to be said about it. I believe that there is something there. All right, so that's the first thing I want to talk about, and I will channel about that. But before I do, I want to go into A Course in Miracles, and I want to talk about this just because I had a realization about it. So I was listening to the Jeff Mara podcast. Jeff Mara, he interviews many people who have had near-death experiences, and in many of the different videos, it's really interesting stuff, and he's a great interviewer. And so the last one I was just watching, the man was talking about his life judgment, and where you view your life passes before your eyes, right? And you feel everything. And he was saying that you feel every time that every unkind thing that you've ever done, you are on the receiving end of it in the life review, so that you understand how the universe works, right? And this is kind of the Course of Miracles. It's all about, we're one. So whatever you give, you receive. So giving and receiving are the same thing. And I thought, that's interesting, because that reminds me of the Last Judgment. According to the Course of Miracles, like, everyone believes that the Last Judgment, it's the Last Judgment, the sinners who are sinned will be judged, and all of these sorts of things, right? That idea, this kind of very dire reading of it. But so maybe it's just a life review. And that's the Last Judgment. And also with the Course of Miracles, the wonderful thing about the Course of Miracles, the Last Judgment, it's the last judgment you ever make. Because we spend our whole lives judging everything and everything. That's not good. I'm not good enough. That's not good enough. You look at people and you judge people, or you judge things, or you judge situations, or you're watching a movie and you'll kind of, that's the bad guy, that's the good guy, or you're watching the news and you're judging these different people, even though you don't even realize that you're doing it. It's just, that's part of this third dimension, or and once we can start to realize we're doing it, we can start to step away from it and forgive ourselves, and also, wow, I'm sorry that I was thinking that way, and then you can shift it as it's happening, and said, give me your blessing, Holy Son of God, so that I can receive, so that I can remember that I can't remember the phrasing exactly, but it's that sort of thing. It's just understanding, every time you feel these things, you catch yourself and say, oh, right, I'm judging. I'm going to pull myself back, send out love, send out love, send out love. And so this Last Judgment thing is, maybe that's just, here it is. The final judgment of the world contains no condemnation, for it sees the world as totally forgiven, without sin, and wholly purposeless, right? Wholly purposeless, without a cause, and now without a function in Christ's sight. It merely slips away to nothingness. There it was born, and there it ends as well. And all the figures in the dream in which the world began go with it. Bodies now are useless, and will therefore fade away, because the Son of God is limitless. You who believe that the God's last judgment will condemn the world to hell along with you, accept this holy truth. God's judgment is the gift of the correction He bestowed on all your errors, freeing you from them and all the effects they ever seem to have. To fear God's saving grace is but to fear complete release from suffering, return to peace, security, and happiness, and union with your own identity. All right. So, this is God's final judgment. You are still my holy Son, forever innocent, forever loving, and forever loved, as limitless as your Creator, and completely changeless and forever pure. Therefore, awaken, return to me. I'm your Father, and you are my Son, right? So, again, if you didn't grow up in the Western world, I'm not sure how many people watching this haven't, but if you didn't, you might find this religious kind of phrasing kind of off-putting. But you can replace it with whatever you want. I'm not too kind of, the God word or the Christ word or these different words. They're just words to describe certain aspects of our reality. But you can replace it with whatever words feel right for you. So I'm going to go into a channeling now and ask them, what do they have to say about these two different things that we're talking about today? Or if anything, if they have anything to say about it. If not, that's fine too. If they have something completely different, that's fine. All right, so here we go. I'm going into brief channeling. Greetings, we are Yeshua, and we're here with you, with all of you at all times. We're here looking upon all of these different things with you, trying in our way to help you, to guide you along the path that you are on. And as we've told this being before, these ideas, these pathways, these what he calls and what you might call rabbit holes are thorns. They're thorns in bushes that you get caught up in and cut yourself in. But what we would say is that it's not necessary to go into the thorny bushes. The path in front of you is so straightforward, and it is paved with gold. It is such a beautiful, beautiful pathway that you are on, that it is not necessary to go down into these bushes. This being often finds himself going down into these bushes, and we often remind him that the universe is working itself out. And it's his job to work out his part of the universe. It's his job to work out what is his life and what he sees around him, and bringing the most love, the most hope, and the most peace to those around him and to those that he is able to connect with. And this is the most important thing for all of you. The universe, there are many different things happening at this moment. And as what this being was talking about, yes, he is over the target, but it's not necessary to worry or even think about it. It is happening, but you are happening as well. And it's very important for you to happen, to keep your attention where you are, to keep your attention on your path, to keep your attention on where you are going. Where are you right now? Where is your mind right now? It's so important in these times to keep your peace. You who are light workers here, it is so important that you shine your light. If you're down in the bushes and you're in pain, it's hard to shine your light. And this is what we would say to all of you: to shine your light, to remain in peace, to try to find the most amount of peace. And if these topics bring you out of peace, then don't go into these topics, as we keep reminding this being. Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. But I find it very interesting, kind of exciting. But it's really, as he said, it's so important though to not get emotionally involved with it. See it as a story. I mean, that's what I see it as, just a story that's playing out. Um, and I guess at times I do kind of get caught up in the story, just like when you're watching a movie and like, whoa, look at that part. Oh, what's going on? But in the end, you have your own, I have my own world, and you have your own world. We're all trying to figure out how to, make it through each day and bring as much light and try to find out what our guidance is telling us to do. And that is the most important thing. So I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And go beach, and ciao for now.